is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Welcome to a fabulous football Flannel Thursday here on Mick Shots. High noon inside the SWBC podcast studio. There are football players getting ready to go on a football field.
And there's a reporter
We've got a
here.
football analyst in his flannel ready to go.
Getting ready to
Fall
What
has
do you do
fallen
in
here.
flannel? I mean, is there a particular chore that you do with flannel?
I don't
like, is that a
know when
farming
you guys
flannel?
woke up this morning, but it was 37 degrees, okay? And there was frost on the pumpkin.
Oh, wow. Was it?
So,
For real?
yeah,
That's
you guys
crazy.
that live down south.
There
you know.
you go, down south.
So Mickey came in with his flannel underwear on and
That's
a
right.
flannel shirt. Just got back from a concert.
Pretty
No,
stylish,
he
actually.
was sweeping leaves. That's what he was doing. You swept leaves this morning, right? I don't know what that's all about.
What do you got on?
He's got his
I don't
cowboy
care what
working
I
out?
hear,
You're like
bro.
working out?
Cowboy
Come on,
gear.
man.
You just
I
came
got
from the
stuff
gym?
to do today, man. Is that the flannel you use when you write? You know, does that inspire you?
I
when
bet
you
your
do your
flannel
article?
costs more than that shirt.
No,
It
it's what
probably did.
when he gets
It
his
probably did.
Mickey goes to his cabin and gets his quill out and
Yeah,
writes his
man.
column.
They can
my
smell
God.
fresh
You
cash.
guys are asking for
Then
it
his
now.
corncob pipe, you know what I'm saying?
I've got 4 more. I'll just start wearing them every day.
Hey, man, that would be cool because that's the
Okay.
first thing I saw when I walked in here. All of this visual around here. And
you
that's
saw
what I noticed. Wow, Spags, nice shirt.
Yeah. I've got a few more that'll stand out, too.
All right.
That's cool. Looks
I
comfy.
think I got one for tomorrow in Missouri colors, black and gold.
That's cool. I want to see some unique flannel stuff.
That's right.
All right. Well, it's already been a busy day as Mike McCarthy had his press conference just moments ago. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the NFL Network right now, and they're doing a discussion of Mike McCarthy's press conference on Monday when the sun was shining on his face.
Oh, no, we're not going to pull
nobody-
the curtains.
nobody-
Do we have to pull the curtains?
No, nobody in TV had a shade with them that day.
Oh, my goodness.
I knew that somebody
This is
would.
just what is it, a microcosm?
Continuation. Yeah. Yeah.
Good
So
stuff,
anyway,
though. Funny stuff. I
so,
gotta say.
so Mickey, shine the light on what Mike McCarthy had to say today.
Well, when he was talking about guys here on this extensive injury report, he wanted to point out that it was a walkthrough practice.
Oh, okay.
So when anybody showed up as full, it's like, don't get too far ahead of yourself. Although Jerry Shirley did on Deron Bland when they asked, what is your confidence that he'll be able to play? He said, yes, I do. So he thinks
So wait.
Bland's ready to go.
So he thinks Bland's ready to go, but McCarthy did
No,
not.
he didn't. He didn't.
McCarthy is non-committal until he sees him practice.
Yes.
Because they didn't practice yesterday.
because
They had to
he
walk
wants them to go through
Another
a
microcosm.
real practice.
Another microcosm.
Right.
Coach says one thing, owner says the other.
And then-
Just another microcosm.
Well, but then there was questions about Zach Martin and Tyler Smith to McCarthy that they did not practice, and he said, well, we only had a walkthrough, so it wasn't like a big practice, so doing probably the best they can to keep them off their feet and see what they can do by Saturday. So that's kind of the outlook there. Somebody was getting really excited about Chuma Edoga practicing, and he kind of squashed that.
What did he say?
He said it was a walkthrough.
That was
Right.
in reference to what you said earlier.
And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, oh, if it gets to that.
That's right. That's when you were going to walk out, right?
Yes, yes.
You might actually.
No,
have
that was. I think that was in the walk-off. So.
No, but once upon a time, you said
I
if,
told you if he has to,
If it comes to that, you're walking out of this studio.
Well, you know what? If they have like 3 guys not able to play, and he's can put a uniform on, he might have to go out there. He may still have to go out there as a backup.
You act as if it's tough for him to put a uniform on.
Because as we talked yesterday, if one more injury in the game, who's going to play?
That's what I was thinking.
Offensive line.
Yeah.
Well, if 2 of them can't go, he might need to be active.
Did anyone ask Mike McCarthy that scenario? Who would have been
I
next?
was going to do it, but I didn't want to do it for everybody else to hear.
Well, I meant like in the walk-off or anything.
No one did. So I kept my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Hoping I run into somebody that can answer that question for me.
By the way, this is a big day for birthday today. You know whose birthday it is today?
Today's
November 21st.
21st. I do know.
It's a quarterback.
Dandy Don.
Nope.
Troy?
Yep. And there's another one.
Oh, really?
Cooper Rush's birthday is today.
Oh, wow. Troy and Cooper have the same.
Same birthday.
Nice.
Troy, 58 years old today, and Cooper Rush is 31 years old today.
Nice.
58.
I thought you were going to say, he doesn't look it.
Oh, no, I didn't. I was just
thought you
thinking
were gonna
58.
follow it up with something.
I was trying to
You just kind of like
It's
58.
processing.
Like,
think when I
Processing.
when I
58.
first met him, it was 89.
Wow. And he was what, 21?
23.
No,
then.
he was a little older then. Yeah.
When did you
23.
meet him?
89.
I mean, what, like
Well,
when he
they
first
had
came
a-
here, when they
I don't know.
drafted him?
Press conference
When he was drafted, yeah.
when he was actually probably when he I can't remember if they were bringing him in the day of the draft. They probably did.
Did you know that
But
was one of the first players to meet Troy Aikman?
You welcomed him
I did.
to the ranch.
We were at Fuzi's and off McKinney. Is it still there?
I don't think so.
Oh, God, that was
What was the
and
fa-
it
what was
started
the
with an
famous
S.
drink?
It started with an S.
Yeah.
SFUZZI.
What was the famous drink? They had a famous
I
drink there.
forget, man. My wife.
Where was
used to
that
go there all the
located?
time.
It was on
McKinney.
McKinney.
Okay.
And so Jerry.
Yeah, I don't think it's still there.
So was this after he was drafted or
This
like
was
a
after
pre-draft
he
visit?
was drafted.
Or,
I
okay.
believe it was after he was drafted. I was the captain of the team at that time, and Jerry, his wife, Lee Steinberg, everybody was there. You know, it was, when I say everybody, I mean like the close people.
So Jerry wanted to get a captain who enjoyed fraternizing, and so
Hey, I don't know why they invited me. I'm like, hey, sure. I said, baby, you want to go get some foosies? She's like, yeah. So because we hung out there all the time, and so I don't know why they chose that place, but we were there, and I met him, and I told him. I remember the words I said was, so what do you think about the new owner? And he goes, oh man, he's a lot. I think that was his statement, was he's kind of a lot. He's a little extra. And I said, well, that's okay, man. I said, he loves you. And I said, he's going to take care of you. That's what I said. He is going to take care of you. So you just be ready to lead this team. I think that was basically all we said to each other. And, you know, he had snuff in it, you know, whatever he had. chewing
from
tobacco
Henrietta,
stuff.
Oklahoma.
Right.
Yep.
But then.
He still had Henrietta, Oklahoma in his lip.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
But here's the thing, though. Then, you know, Lee Steinberg, he's got it in his mouth. And you know, he was just doing it because Troy was doing it. And I'll never forget that. Like, Lee couldn't even use the cup right. You know, it's like, you know, so we sat there and, you know, Jerry and my wife were talking, and everybody was just around there talking. I don't think I've ever told that story.
Huh?
Yeah, so I was like I was the first teammate that Troy Aikman met.
do you know who Steinberg's first client was?
No, you?
No.
Steve Young.
No. Steve is right.
Steve Pallure? Steve.
It was 1975.
Oh, 1975. A quarterback?
Yes.
Steve
Come on.
Bartkowski.
Yes.
Wow.
I think he was the first pick.
Yeah, first or
the
second.
draft.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was his first
I
client.
never would have thought that.
Yeah. And then he went from there, ended up with Troy. As a matter of fact, I was in New York City
Troy hasn't spoke since.
for the NFL meetings.
Troy was here. That's a neat story.
That's the last time he's talked to me. Go ahead. So sorry, man.
He didn't talk to you when you were on the team together?
Not really, no.
Because he kept intercepting him in practice,
I
right?
don't know what it was. He had stuff to do. It was an important man.
I was in New York City for the NFL meeting to confirm Jerry as the owner. Mm-hmm. And that day, Steinberg came to agreement with the Cowboys to sign Troy. Mm-hmm. And then when he showed up the first day at training camp, myself and I think it was Ed Werder, we were standing out in front of the gym where John Wooden would have his basketball camp or whatever, waiting for Troy to come because he knew we were going to talk to him. And he shows up in a beat-up pickup truck, right? And he's dressed in those gray sweats. No, the gray sweats that you would buy
I thought you were going to say flannel shirt.
No, the gray sweats that you would buy at a supermarket or whatever, right? And I'm going, this guy
Well, that's the kind we used to wear, though.
This guy just signed a, $9 million guaranteed contract, and he just kind of shows up like he was from Henrietta, Oklahoma. Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, back in the day, man, I don't know what we were thinking. We had the half shirts going, and you couldn't tell us nothing. Big. Yeah, they weren't just torn; they were
designed that way.
Did you have overalls too?
No, I had no overalls. I didn't do the overalls. No. Wait, I think I did have some overalls.
Absolutely.
I had one pair of overalls.
That was the dress.
So you wore the half shirt T-shirts when you were a teenager?
Not with the No, I just wore it in practice. No, I didn't wear that stuff out in the street.
No, I'm saying in practice. Yeah.
Yeah, just in practice. Yeah. No, I didn't wear it out in the street.
I did too. Yeah.
And then where'd you wear it?
And then at practice at MacArthur.
Yeah. Okay.
At practice in high school. And then I had regular T-shirts that turned into half T-shirts later in life.
If you kept them long enough, yes.
Because your belly got so big that they turned into half T-shirts.
It would kind of work its way up. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. All right. So Everson's got another engagement that he needs to get to
about 50 steps away.
12:25. So here's what we're going to. But here's what we're going to do. We want to get as much production. We want to get as much production as we can out of Everson in the limited time that we have him here.
You're going to get one read out of me. That's all you're going to get.
Yeah. So how are we going to do this then? Because we got to get a read out of you. I was going to take it all the way.
Well, that'll be the last thing he does before he leaves.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to do the read before the break.
All right? You want me to do the read now?
Or no, like when we go to break. Okay. But what I was thinking is we'll just do a longer first segment. We'll go all the way to 12:25.
And then you do the read.
And then you do the read. Gotcha. And then you're dismissed.
Because by God, if you don't do the read, I don't know how we're going to get it done.
That's right. Exactly. All right. So we need to get Everson talking about this Washington team.
So your impressions of Jaden Daniels?
I think he's ahead of most rookies that have come out in quite some time. This is not a fluke what he's doing, even though he's going against what we talk about, some of the lesser teams in the league. He's still a college quarterback throwing against professional ball players, and he's completing his passes. Take out the Hail Mary. Hail Marys, it has a lot to do with a whole lot of stuff. Take that out. He's still shown to be an extremely good quarterback, especially for his age. And, of course, you got my boy Doug Williams there. And Doug Williams is extremely proud of him. Of course, being a black quarterback from HBCU, Doug Williams, from Louisiana. And then here's Jaden Daniels, played at LSU, black quarterback. They've really got a nice little connection going there. And when you have somebody like that, a mentor like Doug Williams, that can help out a young man like Daniels, I think he's still 21 years old?
No, he's got to be more than that.
He's more than 21?
I mean, he spent 3 years at Arizona State
there you
before,
go.
And two at LSU.
Yeah. And that may have a lot to do with the
because
maturity
he's played
that
a lot
he's
of football,
showing. Yeah, he
that's
has
right.
played a lot of football.
He's 23. He turns 24 next month.
Nice. So what you have is, a guy he's the opposite of Trey Lance.
That's exactly right.
He's gotten a lot of playing time, a lot of experience going against some really good defensive backs in the SEC while quarterbacking at LSU. And, of course, coming here to the NFC East, he's really shown that he's not there yet. Of course, he's not there yet. But as far as a rookie's concerned, he's ahead of the curve.
Okay.
He's definitely ahead of the curve.
So McCarthy keeps talking about him and says one of the things he's pointed out twice this week is that he's played a lot of football. Mm-hmm. And, you know, McCarthy's a big proponent of college quarterbacks staying there as long as they can.
Here's the problem with Daniels. He's to me a Lamar Jackson without the throwing difficulties when he first came out of college. I think he's a very patented quarterback. I think he's got it going on. I think he's very accurate. His throwing motion, his mechanics, all of that is there. Now it's just a matter of him putting it together as a professional. He hadn't done that yet, but the danger that he is, he's the most dangerous when he's completing passes and he's running out of the pocket. That is going to be a major problem. You think your boy in San Francisco was a problem. This guy is going to be a problem when it comes to running the football. We saw him in college. This guy's running 50, 60-yard touchdowns.
And some of the passes he threw, too, but I was like, this is like a video game.
It is.
What I'm seeing here.
One of the things that he's improved on from his first year at LSU was that at the first sight of danger, he would take off.
Yes.
Now he's kind of hanging in the pocket.
He's scrambling to throw.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not scrambling to run.
And that when Lamar Jackson started to perfect his throwing motion,
right,
that's what made him more difficult. Instead of him scrambling to run, as he got better, he's scrambling and setting up his own pass. And, of course, he's done that remarkably.
I remember last year when LSU played Missouri, and it was a close game, and they got to a point, I don't know, they had just crossed the 50-yard line or something, and it was either 3rd and long or 4th and I'm yelling at the TV, he's going to run the football. Right. Do not worry about coverage. And he ran 45 yards for a touchdown.
He runs better than he passes, and that's saying a lot for someone who passes as well as he does.
Right, exactly.
All right, here's an example of that. He was at Arizona State for 3 years. In one of those years, he was injured and only played 4 games. So 2+ years as a starting quarterback at Arizona State. And then 2 years at LSU. His first year at LSU, 14 games, they went 10-4 in his starts. He threw the ball 388 times, and he ran it 186 times. His second year there, they were so efficient. Okay, well, he had 2 fewer games. He was 9-3 as a starter. Mm-hmm. But 327 attempts against 135 rushes. And look at these numbers here. He had his first year at LSU, 17 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And his second year, 40 touchdowns in 2 fewer starts, 40 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Wow. Now, you look at him this year in the NFL, he's only thrown 3 interceptions this year.
Wow. See, now that was
Washington,
what I was going to ask you.
Washington leads the league in fewest giveaways on offense.
With a rookie quarterback.
With a rookie quarterback, he's thrown 3 interceptions in 10 games, and they've only lost 2 fumbles. The improvement that Washington has made on offense, in 17 games last year, they had 32 giveaways on offense. Yeah. In 10 games this year, they've got 5.
Wow.
The Cowboys had 5 in 2 different home games. Right?
Yes.
What you see with him, he could throw more, but I think he's being deliberately cautious because of what Dan Quinn wants. The fewer turnovers, the better. And let my defense give you another chance to come out there.
And he's just got 10 touchdown passes. That's 1 a game.
He's been very careful.
That's right.
He's been very careful. And but he's playing within the system. They're letting the defense play for them.
Mm-hmm. I noticed. So I went to the David O'Brien Award last year when he won the award in Fort Worth. And he was pretty sharp because when he did interviews, he had already learned say a lot but say less, right? And he just was very short with his answers. And I'm going, okay, somebody might have, I don't know if he's shy or somebody worked with him, but I was kind of impressed on how he handled himself. And basically going out of his way to congratulate the rest of the guys on the team.
Right.
It wasn't all me.
Well, the better quarterbacks, most quarterbacks you get in the first round these days, they know better.
Yeah.
And he stepped right into that mode better than anybody.
So the Cowboys defense got a handful.
Well, they do, but as long as they keep playing solid, you don't allow him to really get on a streak. He hadn't really gotten on that streak yet. And if we can cover his wide receivers, then we're going to make him pull that ball down, because he does not want to commit those turnovers. So if we start to get turnovers, I think that's going to shake him up a little bit. Even if we just get an interception, that's something that he's not going to be accustomed to. But playing at home, they're going to be riding high, guys. They're going to be riding so high.
The Cowboys,
Cowboys coming to
the
town.
wounded Cowboys coming to town.
They get a chance to pick on us like everybody else is. Unless we come back with some more personnel that can shore us up a little bit, then we're going to have there's going to be status quo for us going into Maryland, I guess.
Yep. So Jaden Daniels has run for 482 yards this season. That's 5.2 yards a carry on 92 carries with 4 touchdowns. Cowboys leading rusher Rico Dowdle has 402 yards rushing.
Well, and
no
just
touchdowns.
think about
on 93. So Dowdle has 93 carries for 402 yards. Daniels has 92 carries for 482 yards. That's just their quarterback.
And think
and
about
not even taking into consideration Brian Robinson or Mickey's favorite Anglo-American running back Austin Eckler.
You know what? One of these days.
We're still talking about that at home.
One of these days, you guys are going to hit my breaking point.
Especially the black women at the house. They're like, what is Spags talking about?
You're going to hit my breaking point at one point, and I don't think you want to see that happen.
All right, you're right, Spags. I don't want to see that happen.
I don't think you want to see
but
that
here's the
happen.
Thing. When you start talking about the scrambling ability and the improvisation of McDaniels,
Mick who?
Daniels. Sorry.
Oh.
You have to.
I thought you said Mick Daniels.
I did say Mick Daniels, yeah.
Can't imagine.
You have to.
Make a mistake.
All right, you got me. You got me, Spag. But the defense got to be smart. Because a player like that can goat you and bait you into things that you don't necessarily do. The players have to be smart in unison on defense. You can't have one guy doing one thing, another guy doing another thing, coming up on the quarterback, leaving somebody wide open behind you who might run for a catch and run for 40 yards.
All right, Everson, I got one more nugget for you before you leave. All right, the Dan Quinn's Falcons met Mike McCarthy's Packers in the NFC Championship game in 2016. Falcons won 44-21. They went on to the Super Bowl and blew the 28-3 lead to the Patriots.
Right.
Okay. How many, Mickey, you can join in on this, how many current head coaches in the National Football League were on Dan Quinn's coaching staff in 2016 with the Falcons?
No, I know Spags would know that.
Oh, yeah. I know all the assistants
There were 5. There are 5 current
on the Falcons alone.
On the Falcons alone. Coaching staff in 2016 under Dan Quinn. 5 current head coaches were on that coaching staff, starting with the offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. Mm-hmm. The quarterbacks coach Matt LaFleur is now the Packers head coach. Offensive assistant Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins head coach now. Assistant head coach Raheem Morris, who's now the Falcons head coach.
Yes.
And their linebackers coach was Jeff Ulbrich, who is now the interim head coach of the New York Jets.
Wow.
They also had
put an asterisk on that one.
We'll see how
so
that
there's
works out.
5 head coaches, current head coaches, and then 2 coordinators in the league. The coaching intern on that staff was Adam Dirty, who's now the defensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, and who was here.
Yes.
And then an offensive assistant was Mike LaFleur, Matt's brother, who is the offensive coordinator of the Rams now. So how about that for a coaching staff? Now you got to go.
I got to go.
Is that your alarm?
And you're picking the Cowboys to win.
I'm picking the Cowboys to. I'll put it like this: if the Cowboys are going to win, this is what they have to do.
Okay.
All right, let's do it like that. They're going to have to play smart on defense. The secondary is going to have to play. Our safety, I'm begging for Donovan Wilson to have a good game, because if he has a good game, we can stop a lot of touchdowns. We could, if we're going to win this game, it'll have to be 25. No, make that 27 to 20. 27. Man, we can stop messing up on. If we can stop screwing ourselves, we could score some points. So let's say we go in here and we play a better game mentally than we've ever played. 27-20. Hold Daniels down, make him confused, play some good one-on-one in the secondary, 27-20, and I'm looking at Donovan Wilson to finally come to play in a football game.
And the Cowboys, Mike Zimmer's defense has more interceptions this season than Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr.'s defense.
That is not what I thought. I would never have thought that.
What about sacks?
24 for Dallas and 29 for...
That's all they got.
No, wait a second. I may have that wrong. Let's see.
I'm out.
Okay, you're out. Yeah, 29 for
It's not going
Washington.
to take you 4 minutes to walk up the stairs.
You don't want to do the read?
He's a double
I can do
booker.
it now.
Or do the read right now.
Give me the read
Before
now.
the break. Before the break, he's doing the read.
Read now.
Okay.
All right. I got the right one. Thursday, RKKO. Cowboys Nation. It's time to get the giving season going. Tune in to see country music superstar Lainey Wilson and special guests perform during the Salvation Army's annual Red Kettle Kickoff halftime show this Thanksgiving on Fox. Every donation stays in the community to provide help and hope for those in need. So, tune in to watch the Cowboys, Giants, and Lainey Wilson this Thanksgiving, and give today at SalvationArmyUSA.org. Bam! Get out of here.
Wow.
She
knocked
won.
it out of the park.
She won a
amazing.
big award last night, too.
Did she?
Yeah.
Country Music
Country
Award.
Music Award.
Man, no Beyonce. I didn't watch it.
All right. See you, Everson, and we're back in a moment. Say go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
There you go.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/cowboys to get started.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
Our thanks to Everson Walls for stopping by and paying a visit today here on Mick Shots. Hey, I'm scanning social media, and I saw this Mickey Spagnola from the Giants practice. And, of course, 1 week from today, the Cowboys are facing the Giants on Thanksgiving Day.
Are they on a bye this week?
Yeah. Daniel Jones spent part of the open portion of practice today wearing a red scout team jersey lined up at safety during an offensive install period.
No.
He was joined on the scout team D by some practice squad offensive linemen and some assistant coaches.
No.
Yes.
Yep.
Daniel Jones is now relegated to scout team safety for the Giants.
I think I read that he wasn't going to be the backup quarterback.
That's right, because they cannot take the risk of activating his $23 million guarantee for next season by getting hurt.
So he's inactive.
Right.
He'll be the third.
Because they also signed Tim Boyle this week, so he's fourth team quarterback on their roster.
So he won't even be the inactive third quarterback, maybe.
No, he may not even make the trip. Right?
Who do they play?
Oh, I'm not even sure who they're playing.
They're playing a home game, I believe.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Usually they play a home game. I'll look it up right here. I got it right here.
While you're looking it up, so the starter's Tommy DeVito, and they got Drew Lock, and they just signed Tim Boyle to the practice squad. And so Daniel Jones is number 4 on the depth chart right now.
They're trying to save money. Mm-hmm. Because this was his last year of guaranteed money, if I remember correctly.
Right, and there's a bonus that would get activated in March. If he's hurt, then they're on the hook for it.
They play Tampa Bay, Bill.
Tampa Bay.
This is another example of when you see a total amount for a quarterback, it's not always the total amount.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at where the guarantees run out. And so this will be the second time the Cowboys played Tommy DeVito. Did they play him last year?
Yeah. And how about just look at and we've said this even going into the season, this schedule that the Cowboys had from late September until basically since the last time they faced the Giants in the Thursday night game up there.
Right.
You're looking at they played at Pittsburgh, which is a first-place team. They played Detroit, a first-place team, was probably the best team in the league. They, after a bye week, played at San Francisco, which was a Super Bowl team last year. Now they're 5-5 right now. Then at Atlanta, a first-place team. Home against Philadelphia, a first-place team. And now on the road, Houston at home, a first-place team. And now at Washington, which spent much of the season in first place. The only reason they're not in first place is because Philadelphia is in first place.
And Philadelphia beat them.
And they're 7-4, Washington.
But they're in second place. Yeah.
But that's the stretch that the Cowboys are in. And then the Giants come here next week. So the Giants bookend this. Is it a 6-game stretch?
Yeah.
What is it, 6 or 7-game stretch?
7, I think.
Yeah, 7-game stretch.
Because they've lost.
Yeah, and they won. They beat Pittsburgh, then 5 straight losses, and now Washington. So it's a 7-game stretch in the middle of the season where there aren't a lot of teams in the league. And this is no excuses for the Cowboys, but there aren't a lot of teams in the league that are going better than 5, are going 4-3 against that schedule.
But this is, as I pointed out yesterday, the price you pay for winning the division and not capitalizing on that success in the playoffs.
And the difference on that, there are 3 teams in this stretch that the Cowboys played because they finished in first place last year. That's Detroit, San Francisco, and Houston.
Right. And Washington, finishing in last place, ended up with Arizona, Tennessee, and Chicago.
Now, as it turns out, Arizona's got a decent team.
But when they
this year.
played them, Arizona was 1-2.
No, there you go.
And so, yeah, that's the significant difference.
It was Arizona and who?
Tennessee.
And then who?
Chicago.
And Chicago, which was a Hail Mary.
Right.
Which, by the way, if Jaden Daniels doesn't complete the Hail Mary, they're 6-5, and people aren't talking about.
And would they have
such
lost
glowing
3?
terms?
Would that be 3 in a row?
3 out of 4. They played the Giants. They beat the Giants 27-22 in the middle of that.
So part of their victories, they've got to play the Giants already twice.
A 27-22 win and a 21-18 win.
Yeah. And they've gotten to play Cincinnati losing record, Cleveland losing record, Carolina losing record, Chicago losing record.
Their best win of the year is the Arizona game. They beat Arizona out there 42-14
right,
in the fourth game of the season.
And they lost to Tampa Bay the season opener. So, look, where Washington was last year at this time, the fact that they've turned it around in 7-4, and I don't care, who they've beaten, it's pretty miraculous turnaround. Now we'll see if it sticks, because the rest of the way, after Dallas, which is a losing record, they played Tennessee, losing record, New Orleans, losing record, and then they have Philadelphia, Atlanta, and the Cowboys again.
Well, as we all know, one of the biggest factors is staying healthy.
Right.
And they've been able, for the most part, to stay healthy this season. And so it's been a great year for them. It's in terms of health. Right now they're missing Jonathan Allen, who has a torn pec. But so that's one big guy they're missing in their defensive line. But as it turned out, they drafted in the second round Johnny Newton, who's filling in. He was the 36th pick in the draft, and he is healthy, and he's lined up next to Daron Payne inside on their defense. But you look at their offensive line, and they, for the most part, they have been healthy all year. They were planning to split left tackle reps between Cornelius Lucas and Brandon Coleman all year. Lucas got hurt for a couple of games, but it was going to be Brandon Coleman's job eventually, and he's made 6 starts there. But Nick Allegretti at left guard has started every game. Tyler Biadasz at center has started every game. Sam Cosmi at right guard has started every game. And Andrew Wiley at right tackle has started all but one game. And so they're healthy on their offensive line, although it's not the greatest offensive line. In fact, Brandon Coleman, a guy that I was touting out of TCU as a third-round draft pick, 67th overall, I mean, he had his struggles last week. Against it was last week against Philadelphia. He struggled. Might be a guy you want to line Micah up over there and see what he can do.
And I think it's pretty ironic that there's a lot of folks talking about how well Tyler Biadasz is playing, and it's like he played well last year, but he got picked on because he wasn't perfect, right? And then they pay him a whole bunch of money, and the Cowboys are like, okay, we just have to move on. And
it was a 3-year, $30 million deal.
Yeah. So, and the same thing with Armstrong and Dante Fowler. They followed the money,
Armstrong got 3 years, $33 million. I don't have Fowler's written down here, but
it wasn't that much, but it was enough for him to go there and take the money, not to try to sign another 1-year deal here. So it's not like the Cowboys were like, well, we don't think much of those guys, and they're going to – somebody was talking about, well, those guys will be all fired up to play the Cowboys because the Cowboys didn't keep them. No, they couldn't afford them, what they got offered by Washington. It's just that simple.
Biggest moves that they made, and I like their draft, but the biggest moves they made to improve that team was on defense at linebacker with both Bobby Wagner, who, of course, knows Dan Quinn's defense by heart, and Frankie Louvu, who they signed, unrestricted free agent from Carolina, which was a 3-year, $36 million deal. And then they also signed from Carolina Jeremy Chin, who is a very athletic, big safety type who can play linebacker. He is like the Jaron Curse in Dan Quinn's defense, 6'3", 220 pounds. A guy has a 41 vertical, 11.6 broad jump. They also got a corner who's now playing safety for them, Quan Martin, second-round pick last year. He's got a 44 vertical. So he's got athletic safeties, and I really like their second-round pick this year out of Michigan, who's starting at corner, number 0 for them, Mike Sanderstil, and he's starting. Now, he's a smaller corner, and he probably projects more as a slot guy in the future, but right now he's playing outside. They've got a big corner on the other side, Benjamin St. Just, who was their third-round pick in 2021. He's a 6'3" corner. So they got a 6'3" corner, and then Sandra Still is a 5'10" guy who is a playmaker at Michigan, a huge reason Michigan won the national championship last year.
So if you're trying to throw the ball over Martin's head, you better throw it high? Because he can jump 44.
Yeah.
And by the way, Marshawn Lattimore was not practicing.
Yep. He's got
at this point.
Hamstring?
Yeah, but then was he the one they just acquired, or he had been there?
No, yeah, they traded for him at the deadline from New Orleans.
Right.
All right,
but he came with a bad hamstring because he wasn't playing in New
But they got him for the long haul.
Yeah.
All right, the long haul this season. All right, Mick Shots continues in a moment.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Celebrate the holiday season at AT&T Stadium. Get a tour of the home of the Dallas Cowboys, plus your photo with Santa and Mrs. Claus from December 10th through the 14th. Limited inventory is available. Secure your tickets today at AT&TStadium.com/tours.
One other guy I failed to mention who's their third corner, who gets a lot of snaps. He had 57 snaps against Philadelphia, is the former Cowboy Noah Igbenogany.
Please.
I mean, he's a regular in their secondary. So their three corners are Sandra Still, St. Just, and Noah Igbenogany.
He couldn't get off the bench here.
That's exactly right.
But
he's a former first-round draft pick of the Dolphins.
Speaking of corners, if Deron Bland plays and if Jordan Lewis can get back and play, it'll be the first time all three of them have been on the field together.
And did they list Jordan Lewis?
They list as limited.
Okay. And in the walkthrough, he was limited.
Yeah. He was going to wear one of the big collar things to help his shoulder and neck problem.
Okay.
But those guys, since they've been here,
right,
not all three at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought it was going to happen before the Detroit game, and then his foot got sore after 2 practices and hadn't really practiced since then. That's a month ago, the Detroit game?
It was Texas OU weekend. It's October 14th or so.
So, yeah, so he's been rehabbing. And there was a bye in there too, right?
Right.
So he missed Detroit. And then San Francisco,
It's been
Atlanta,
6 weeks ago.
Philadelphia, Houston. Yeah, jeez.
But now, so now you're sitting here looking at, okay, can he go now, or do you give him 3 extra days, 4 extra days, and go Thanksgiving? Or can he go back to back?
Yeah, right. And we also, talking about the cornerbacks, they sort of liked what Amani Oruwariye was doing, and now he's on injured reserve.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Bland there, him, Jordan Lewis missing. They just can't seem to, it's the same position, cornerback and defensive end, that they've suffered. And it's one thing is, okay, you got to have depth and you got to have guys step up, but you're talking about guys off the practice squad that you were hoping were going to step up.
You see how many snaps Odigizua and Golston got?
I think Odiggy had a bunch.
He had both of them did. There were 64 snaps on defense, and Osa had 57. Was in there for 57 of the 64 for an interior defensive lineman, and Chauncey Golston had 61 of the 64 snaps he was on the field.
Well, who else are you going to put out there?
That's right. They're holding down the fort, and
then you get worn down by the fourth quarter.
And now you're sitting here 6 days later playing a game, and then 4 days later playing a game.
So they
But to your point, that truly is probably a big reason why the Cowboys are having issues in the second half of these games.
Right.
Is just because of it's
not the halftime adjustments by the other teams.
The lack of bodies, the rotation to guys get worn down over time.
At least Marshawn Nealon was listed as limited in practice on the walkthrough.
Well, they need him back.
Yeah. And he's in his return to practice period. So if not this week, maybe next week, he can get back. But that's another spot. We mentioned defensive end. I saw Sam Williams sitting in the locker room the other day. You forget that they lost him before the season ever started. And Micah's played 2 games now since his injury.
Lawrence has been a huge loss.
And DeMarcus Lawrence, we were kind of chit-chatting with him yesterday, and he says, yeah, I'm coming along, but it ain't going to happen before Thanksgiving. So the hope is they get him before the end of the season.
Just think about it. This is great when you're talking about Washington. We're out of time here. We can talk about it more tomorrow. But the moves that the Cowboys made to offset the losses of Dorrance Armstrong to Washington and Dante Fowler to Washington, was Sam Williams was supposed to step up into a starting role, former second-round draft pick, and they draft Marshawn Nealon,
who'd end up starting before he got hurt.
And then there was other guys that they brought in, but those were the 2 key guys, and Williams never basically saw a training camp practice, much less a regular season game. And then you lose Nealon a month into the season.
And then you lose Parsons after what?
And then you lose Parsons over the most critical stretch of the season.
Right.
You lose Parsons for 5 games or whatever it was.
And Lawson was a guy that they tried to bring in, and he hadn't been with anybody. He hadn't gone to training camp with anybody, and so
like Monday night,
been a while.
Now that Parsons is back and he got the full load, basically he had 61 snaps against Houston. Lawson was down to 15 snaps, which is what he should be at. But,
and that's what he started off, and out of a necessity, he was playing more.
All right, that does it for a Thursday edition of Mick Shots, and we will shout at you again tomorrow at noon. Where's the Go Cowboys?
Go Cowboys.
Oh, boy, Chris.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!